Try again.
Dawn PRs. Rad is no longer here, but I'm here with Kathy, Gambit, and Window.
Hi. Hello.
Full transparency, we like these teams a lot less. I'm just going to say that right now. So we are going to probably not sound as energetic. You're also 2 hours into recording. So, you know.
Some of us may or may not be drinking.
That is also true.
If it wasn't 1 p.m., I would.
If it wasn't 3 p.m., I would. All four of us would
5
be
o'clock
drinking.
somewhere.
Yeah, but I also have to probably go somewhere potentially.
True. Same.
So, all right, let's start off. Let's just get right into the meat and potatoes of this. First off, we have Warui, who has got Goldango, Murkrow, Clefable, Hariyama, Gyarados, Megalophony, Haxorus, Behem, Electros, and Pyroar.
I wonder who helped with this team. Whoa.
Gambit, you
What,
did
is
a
that the team
really
with
good.
Goldango,
Gambit, you really did a good job helping with this team. I mean, it really reminds
That's true.
me.
It was all my idea.
It
100% of
really reminds me a lot of the things that I enjoyed about my season 14 winning team. Kind of.
Where's Cottony? Oh, that's Micro.
Cottony's in the same same place as Ursaluna. They're on retirement. They're on their retirement tour. So anyone want to give their thoughts about this?
Well,
I think this team's alright.
yeah, I was gonna say you should, because it has some influence by you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would never influence a draft or four.
About to
As
say
the
how
one who
much.
tells kind of
or-
not to do stupid shit. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this is like the outcome of what me and Kathy would like settle on. Like not initially work with, but like after like 1 or 2 snipes to like core pieces, it'd be like, yeah, this is, you know. But yeah, this is a me team. I'm not gonna play it up anymore. So here's some context for this entire division. It wasn't meant to be this way.
However,
But I came into this league. We have 6 people in a testing group because a bunch of my friends wanted to play draft this season, and it was one of my friends one season. That is Ace in the Dusk division. He was playing for the summer. So it started out with 4 people, and then Orange joined, and then we needed a 16th person, so Gen joined, and then we had added him into the group chat. And then we did the randomization for the divisions. 5 of the 6 of us ended up in one division. So statistically, it is more likely for our testing group to make all of playoffs than to miss playoffs. No matter what, one of our group is making playoffs. Oh boy. That's the context. So talking a little bit about this team, kind of like they said, it's a canner team. You can really tell that I had a large influence in this because of Goldango Murkrow, which is literally my favorite core in all of draft by a mile. And then it also has Behem, which is like one of my favorite Trick Room setters ever.
as well as Pyroar and Electros, I feel like you're a big fan of as well.
Oh, Electros, I'm like, whatever on. I've drafted it a couple times, but that's just because it has no weaknesses. And it's an electric type, so it just has like 3 resistances, which is fine. 3 resistances, no weaknesses. Well, 3 resistances and an immunity. So it's just like randomly like a very decent low tier Pokemon for Trick Room. But genuinely, I like this team. And maybe I am a little bit biased because it has a lot of Pokemon that I do enjoy. Like, we've got the Goldango, we've got the Murkrow, we've got the Clefable. We've got the Behem, the Electros. Pyroar, I guess. I'm not including Pyroar in that, though, just because I'm talking about, like, objectively, like, what is pretty decent on this team. I think Pyroar's fine. It's here for a fire type, and with its speed tier, it helps kind of fill in some gaps with the team, specifically the speed tiers. If you look here, without Pyroar, between 135 and 99, there is no Pokemon, which means there is a pretty significant gap in Trick Room, but I mean, well, in Tailwind, rather. But Murkrow Goldango, obviously, is like kind of your number one lead with this team, but you've got options with Gyarados, you've got Clefable, which lets you actually run setup Goldango, thanks to Clefable. You've got Hariyama, which has Wide Guard, it has Thick Fat as well, which helps against fire types, helps against ice types. Ice types, you know, there's 2 Pokemon that are weak to ice types. It's not like it's the biggest deal ever, and there's also 1 fire weakness, but I mean, the name of the game with this team is keeping Goldango alive and letting Goldango win the game. Lopunny is also just Lopunny, whatever, is also pretty decent. 136 attack, 135 speed with Scrappy, so after Mega, it can't be intimidated. I do really like Pokemon that when they Mega Evolve cannot be, or just Pokemon in general, that cannot be Intimidate cycled if they're a physical attacker. That's very good. It can still be parting shotted, can still be attack lowered, but I think ultimately it's fine. Haxorus was a Pokemon I did historically really like as well. I overall really do enjoy this team. I think it's got pretty much every single one of the boxes you need to tick. It's got Haze, it's got Imprison, Trick Room. It's, funnily enough, if you want to run Imprison Follow Me with Clefable, you can do that as well. It's also got pretty dynamic options for Fake Out. You've got Hariyama, you've got Lopunny for both ends of the spectrum there. But let's talk about the cons. There is more doubled typings than I would really like to admit and like to build towards. We have 2 normal types, we have 2 fighting types, and 2 flying types. The flying types are fundamentally different roles, obviously, but they do kind of become the same in supporting purposes. The fighting types, unfortunately, do not have that luxury. They are very similar. But at least like the normal types, one's a physical attacker, one's a special attacker, so it's not awful, but they are both part of that Tailwind mode. So it is a little bit rough. But overall, I do like this team. Pyro providing Snarl, Will-O-Wisp, Hyper Voice, Throat Spray sets. I think it's fine. It's got pretty much everything that I would look for in a team. The thing that's kind of holding it down is that while it does have a lot of the things that I look for in a team, it doesn't have a lot of the power I look for in a team. It's got a lot of options that are just weaker versions of other options that we would have preferred. But I think ultimately it's fine. I'll let you guys say what you want to say about the team.
Damn, you really
nice.
yap, huh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
If you get me
Yeah.
yapping, I start yapping.
I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
like,
picking up what you're putting down.
There was nothing to add. You covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of just said everything I think we were all thinking.
The only thing is, this team is really weak to Fairy. You realistically
yeah.
have 1 resist, and it's
Well-
Goldango. Pyro's
well,
still gonna
so-
take some damage.
But also,
So the
Goldango just kills them.
Yeah, Goldango just
Goldango killed him.
immediately kills every fairy. Like, is there a fairy in the division that it doesn't just immediately kill?
Clefable?
Bad
with
for you.
without Babiri Berry, I don't think so. I think every fairy in the division needs Babiri Berry to live.
There's
Grimstar
there's
can live post screen.
Primarina as well.
Primarina.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
still 2. That's not bad. Plus, they're both still, taking a sizable amount. from that.
Fluttermane might be able to live if you invest enough.
Yeah, if you invest in special defense, Fluttermane lives with, I guess it also depends on the Goldango set. I think
Yeah.
Specs just kills bulky Fluttermane too, but don't quote me on that because I don't know. Off the
That's
top
when
of my
they
head.
run AV Fluttermane.
Don't give nobody ideas. Spoilers. but yeah, I mean, if we is there anything to add with this team, or should we just get to ranking it?
No, I think you said everything I was thinking of anyway. I agree. Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. You just kind of yapped.
Yeah, because it's a canner team, so I know like
It is a kind of team, so you just yapped about
the only mon
basically a
on
team that
here.
you drafted.
The only mon on here that isn't a canner mon is Megalopony, but everything else is like a canner mon. Is a mon that I would
Yeah,
take.
that ass. This is a canner team and Megalopony.
All right, so where are we putting this?
I'm putting it in like A.
I personally think this is A, but if it's not A, I think it's a very high B.
I was going to say very high
really.
B, but having a scan at some of the other teams we're going to be seeing, I think it's probably an A.
I think comparatively it's an A.
Yeah, I think
I think
mean-
also comparatively to the other division, this is also an A.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I do like this team a little bit less than Win does. For you at home who are comparing the two lists, that's what I think so far. It's a little bit worse than Win does, in my opinion. Just because I think Iron Hands Photograph just, chooses this team alive, but,
Another thing about this team is, aside from Goldango, it's kind of hard to pilot. It has a lot of different moving pieces.
sort
in
of.
a way, yeah.
Sort of.
But then you kind of have a clear cut like Trick Room mode, and then you kind of have a clear cut Tailwind mode, and then you have Clefable and Gyarados could be in either.
Yeah, I would say the biggest skill check on this team isn't the way you pilot the mons, it's how you build. It's a very big build check.
Yeah.
Because if you build wrong,
Yeah.
you do just lose. But that's kind of always Goldango, though, right? You have to kind of just decide on the right Goldango set. If you have the wrong one for the matchup, it does just become infinitely harder. All right, so let's go on to our next team, and unfortunately, he is not here to explain a lot of his thought processes.
Take him a damn head.
But we have a fat rat with Dragapult, Togekiss, Kartana, Volcarona, Scrafty, Mega Manectric, Inteleon, Rhyperior, Audino, and Bronzor.
A stupid rat that I hate.
The stupid rodent that I hate.
Can't believe he sent that fucking Kartana gift. I'll kill him.
that was mad disrespectful.
In
I'll kill him personally.
In Minecraft.
I mean, we're talking about killing him in the game of Pokemon. While Pokemon might not
I'm gonna
die,
4-0 his
Rat certainly
bitch
will
out.
after he gets 2-0'd in their set.
Grr.
All right. I'll let someone else talk about this one first.
This team is scary.
In
certain
really
aspects.
Like this team. I really
And
like
by
this
certain
team.
aspects, I mean the first 4 Pokemon.
I think the first 6.
6.5. We can count Rhyperior in there.
Yeah, I think if there was a better Trick Room setter than an Ordino, Rhyperior would feel a lot better.
Well, there's Bronzor.
There's Bronzor right there.
Unironically, Bronzor is better with
No,
Rhyperior
it's
because of
literally better than
Levitate.
Adina.
Because of Levitate.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. I guess then you can do your Bulldoze weakness policy and pretend it's Gen 8 again.
I mean, or you can just
Sure.
click Earthquake. Unlike the other division, you don't have to worry about 2 different grassy terrain teams to reduce your earthquakes.
Oh,
Right.
I forgot to mention on the previous team as well. That's also the only team with Prankster Tailwind apart from
yeah.
Fletchling.
My bad.
Which, yeah.
Yeah.
I have my opinions on Prankster Tailwind and Draft. I think it's disgustingly broken.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah,
it's just also
absolutely.
disgustingly expensive this season.
It is.
Yes, because I made it disgustingly expensive.
Yeah, you
because
shouldn't
everything is
have,
my preference.
because if you didn't make it expensive, my team would have been better. And
True.
Rat's team would have been the exact
Same.
same, because he would have just drafted
Sorry.
this. No, it's fine. It is objectively correct to make it expensive.
By
Okay.
expensive, it's like the same price as it was last season.
Yeah.
I mean, is it cheaper?
No, it's the same price.
No. no, we were going to make it cheaper, and then
Yeah, I was
you
going
said,
to, and you said
Okay.
nuh-uh, and then I was like,
You
"Oh,
said- you said,
please let me
"Stop."
be broken," and you said,
Wait a minute.
no.
I remember seeing 16-point Illumise. I think.
I think that was 2 seasons ago or 3.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
then.
I think
I-
15 is
Actually, that
probably
might have
where they
been
should
right after the Encore incident, where no one played around Encore for an
Yeah.
entire season for some reason. All right, so I do have some thoughts. I am prepping for this matchup, and by prepping, I mean I have to prep for this matchup, and I haven't started yet.
Have fun.
There are some mons that I think I don't like. I like every mon on this team. I'll say that. I think Audino is not great, but I think it's ultimately fine. I think it's pretty whatever. But there are some aspects I do not like at all here. I don't really like that one of our Tailwind has to be Kartana, Volcarona, or Togekiss. Don't like that. I think the Trick Room options also aren't great. Like, even beyond just the setter, like, your entire Trick Room, like, your Pokemon that are going to do something under Trick Room are both 4 times weaknesses. So, like, a slow Fairy is going to deal with Scrafty very effectively, and then a slow Grass or Water is going to deal with Rhyperior very effectively. Obviously, there are going to be cases where Rhyperior, potentially, if you're going special attack, is like Solid Rock Assault Vest and can like maybe live just a little bit. But I don't like that. I think it doesn't matter that much because of the fast mode, but it's also it's hard to tell. Because I think this team could either feel like it's the best team in the room, or it could end up feeling like it's kind of a mediocre team piloted by a great player. And
I know that hurt. I know that hurt for you to say. I know that hurt for you to
what,
say.
to say Rat's a good player?
Yeah.
No, he genuinely is a good player. I hate for what he's not a good player against me. He's very skillless against me.
Lamau.
But he is a good player. As evidenced by the fact Rat did make finals last season, but did not yet get his win. So he is very likely going to be hungry for that win this season, even if it is just a divisional championship. Having any sort of win under your belt is great. Just ask Winda. He's got so many that he had to buy a spare chest just to put all of his wins in. He actually used to just be called Duh back in the day, but now he's won.
Linda.
He's won so many times. It's Winda now. Just so many times.
The Alten with you.
It's just so many times.
Doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it anymore.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. You still have made playoffs every single season in Gen 9. Just fuck off. Fuck off. Like, genuinely fuck off. No, not joke aside. I do think this team's good. I think this is definitely.
Yeah.
I
I
think
wouldn't put this S.
I think this is probably the second best team we've looked at between both drafts. I think Kathy's team does have it, just because, you know, having a reliable Tailwind option. But I do think this thing. Yeah, I can put this in S.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's what I would imagine like the ideal S to look like, but I think obviously relativity and all of that. I think it's S, and I think there is, no matter what, like even in a good season like this, has a case for S. But
Yeah. I think obviously Kartana like isn't what you want to be using Tailwind for, but I think the flexibility of Volcarona or Togekiss being Tailwind says, obviously they're not the fastest things. But this team has double Intimidate for the to help out with the bulk, and some of the mons are generally quite bulky anyway. You kind of get away with it. And you've got the natural speed on some of the Pokemon as well to help out, so I think it's fine.
yeah, I think the biggest thing for this team is just seeing how Rat plays around special offense less than physical offense, because this team will have no issue dealing with physical offense The make or break is
Beautiful.
going to be how do you deal with very strong special attackers showing up and, just messing with your team. Like, how are you going to do that? I think that's kind of going to be make or break. And I do think Rat is going to be able to do it, though.
We shall see. But, I mean, he is that stupid rodent that we hate.
Yeah,
And
he
we'll
is
find
the-
a way somehow.
Yeah, he's that stupid rodent that I hate. He could draft a terrible team and still make playoffs because he would get a free win against me. Anyways, speaking of people I do not hate, we have our next coach here.
Yeah, legally.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, it's Bestie!
Does Bestie want to read off their team?
Is he here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I drafted Chiyu, Naganadel, Clefairy, Rabombi, Meowscarada, Weirdeer, Araquanid, Bastiodon, Whiscash, and Banette. But you can ignore her, she's not real.
Rat sees this team and goes, "Grr, it's that stupid fish that I hate."
It's that fish that I hate and the deer that I stole.
True.
And Whiscash.
I kind of like this team. Just because
I would hope so.
I would hope. Well, I mean, if you looked at her DMs to me when she was building the team, you would not think she liked
I was
it.
very doubtful of it, but I've grown to like it a lot more. It has. I just think I'm gonna have fun with this. I by no means think it's the best on the board, but it has enough moving pieces for me to function comfortably with it and maybe make playoffs again this season. Chiyu Naganadel is fucking absurd, and I'm shocked that I have this fine of a team for how expensive those two are.
And then somehow, still get, Clefairy, Meowscarada.
Yeah, I still have Clefairy Meow. I still have Rabombi, which is, I think, either fastest or second fastest Tailwinder in the draft. That isn't priority. Weirdeer is fun imprison stuff. And since I think there is a Psychic Terrain user, I can abuse that if I really want to and just run E-Force. I like Araquanid for Tailwind. I like clicking Liquidation and watching things die. Bastiodon is my child, and Whiscash is because there's a Raging Bolt in the draft. It's exclusively for that. I had no answers.
And there's a rat. There's a rat in this draft.
Yeah, you do get an automatic victory against Rat.
That's true. And
You get
it's
4 points.
I fully considered Whiscash because he decided to pick a fight and post that stupid Cortana give after I drafted Naganadel. So he wants hands. So Whiscash will deliver. So go ahead and tear my team apart.
It looks weird, but it looks good. I think Bastiodon, while being your child, is probably a little overkill on the double wide guard, and I guess it's heavy slam / body press stuff for Trick Room, but it's probably a little overkill because Araquanid has no problem running wide guard on its set because it has 2 moves it wants to click anyway. It has liquidation and it has a wide guard.
Yeah.
As someone who used it last season, those are the 2 moves you click, and the other 2 moves you use are complete filler. Weird is a great trick room setter for those Pokemon, which is nice. The biggest problem I do have is that big speed gap in the middle. Weirder jump to Chiyu, that is a pretty, there's a lot of Pokemon that fit in that speed gap. So, it's going to be interesting to see how you kind of play around with that. But I mean, the power is there.
Mhm.
The power is there. and I barely know what Nagana Bell does otherwise, other than kind of click buttons and somehow win games.
That's all it does. Click buttons and win games.
That's all it needs to do.
That honestly though, like that is all it needs to do.
Yep.
Only thing that I really want to mention that I'm not a big fan of is just how many 4x weaknesses there are. Just 4 different 4x weaknesses is not great, but I mean bug isn't super real, so it's, you know, it's whatever. But Bastiodon
You can.
does have
It's like the one mon that, well, one of the few mons that can actually switch out of that though.
Yeah.
And Bastiodon Wizcash are not real.
Yeah.
IMO.
They're not super real. I think Bastiodon's like kinda real in kinda. It's kinda real. Araquanid.
Bastiodon
kinda
is
real
only
because
real
of
in
the berry.
matchups where I don't have to worry about either of those weaknesses.
Yeah. Or if you specifically want to go sturdy Metal Burst for 1 game,
True.
but only for 1 game, because that's not working in a game 2 or a game 3. Or realistically, probably even working in game 1, but it's gonna do damage, you know?
It's a clutch sin in a game 3 situation.
Yeah, that doesn't do enough damage to win the game just because of how low HP
I know.
it has.
Why did they give that its signature move and give
Yeah.
it no HP?
Yeah. All right. So where are we putting this team?
I don't know. Knowing the rest of the draft, I don't feel comfortable putting it in A. But I don't think it's as bad as some of the B Brigade we're gonna see later.
Well, some of the B Brigade might not be a B Brigade. I'm just gonna say that.
So I think high B. Personally,
Yeah. I think it can just slide
Yeah.
in B.
It definitely teeters on A though. I think it's very close.
Yeah. I think it is pretty relative in some aspects to Warwick's team. His team just feels more consistent.
yeah.
I am biased, of course, but I just do overall think it's just more consistent with the pieces that it has. Not that yours like inconsistent, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
All right, it's time for that stupid washed warrior that I hate.
It's time for that stupid
Yo,
mod that I hate.
Turtwig!
It's time for that stupid mon that I hate. It's time for the Turtwig. The
Turtwig.
Turtwig Mafia. All right, I'll read off this team, and then I will let you guys speak first. And I can kind of just fill in some of the holes. We've got Incineroar, Sinistcha, Manaphy, Mega Lucario, Garchomp, Aerodactyl, Copperajah, Enamorous Therian, and Turtwig.
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 I'll first off say Turtwig is literally pointless. I think.
No, you don't understand.
No, it is. Yeah, it is. I forgot
I love that
Aerodactyl.
you figured that out after.
No, I just forgot Aerodactyl had wide guard.
Yeah.
But I just had Turtwig. I mean, there's not really a better one that I could have got, and there's not like a 2 I wanted, so.
You could have gone Grossel.
I know I could have. Don't remind me. I thought it was 3 when we
No.
were in grace period.
No, because Grottle isn't as cute.
True.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to draft cute to win. As you can
You have
see.
Manaphy.
Yeah, but I also have Enamorous Theory.
But, yeah, you also have a Namorous Therian.
I wouldn't exactly call my team cute. It's got some like options that are kind of cute. You know, you got Turtwig,
has
Manaphy,
Sinistcha.
Sinistcha.
Sinistcha's cute.
3 of 9. 3 of 9. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just spilled some chin.
You just spill some.
Like, yeah, I spilled a little bit on my keyboard, but it's on like the keys that like don't have switches in them.
Sinistcha Incineroar. One of the most annoying things I've ever seen.
Yeah, that is a fire water grass core if I've ever seen it.
That is a fire water grass core.
That is
Also,
also
Steel
a
Dragon
fairy
Fairy.
dragon. Yeah, that is also a steel dragon fairy core. Double steel even.
Yeah.
They're pretty different as well. Like one's fast, one's slow. Even Lucario can go mixed. You've got a couple flying types as well for the Garchomp to Earthquake next to, which I think is pretty important. Like, one of the benefits I feel like of Garchomp is to be able to do that big damage. And then Aerodactyl can set the Tailwind for it. And Amorous kind of just provides the better general coverage alongside Garchomp. And it's fat. Trick Room on Sinistcha that's slightly concerning, is the only Trick Room setter. Just because it means that, like, you probably want Trick Room on it every week, but that limits its sets, because it has a lot of really good sets. But forcing it to have Trick Room pretty much every week is going to be awkward.
To be fair, though, most of the time, Sinistcha is just going to have it anyways. But yeah, it does limit things.
Yeah. Because it means, like, you can't, like, have, like, you're not going to run, like, Rage Powder and Calm Mind on the same set, but, like, you've got, like, you have to be, like, Calm Mind, Machigacha, Shadow Ball, Trick Room.
If I lose to Calm Mind Sinistcha again, it might be my 13th reason.
I'm gonna run it against you.
I'm gonna kill...
You're gonna kill me!
No, I'm just gonna kill.
Steve Harvey looking at the board.
I'm about to say,
Kill!
Heal.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Ding.
go, what about killing myself?
Yeah.
I am most interested in seeing how you use Manaphy, though, because that mon's got a lot of potential behind it, besides just clicking Tail Glow.
That was my suggestion. I did that. I went, well, it was originally Among Us over in Sinistcha.
Yeah.
I went, Firewall Grassclaw of Manaphy and Incineroar Sinistcha is fucking insane.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, we also considered Palafin for the Manaphy slot during Grace.
Yeah.
But obviously we didn't go for it because another physical attacker. But yeah, huge shout out to Kathy for Manaphy. I think Manaphy is like, I looking at this team now and like having sat on it since Grace yesterday, like I don't think I can think of a Pokemon I would rather put in this slot than Manaphy. It's just so good.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how you use it, and most importantly, it's extremely cute.
That is true.
No, I really like this team. I think, like I say, I've mentioned a couple flaws. I'll also mention I just don't like Aerodactyl as a Pokemon. I think it's like maybe one of the most fraudulent Pokemon that's ever existed. But like, as a cheaper, fast Tailwind setter, it's there. It gets the job done. It has Wide Guard. It'll tickle things with its Rock and Flying type moves. And that'll probably get the job done for all it needs to do. But otherwise, yeah, not too many faults. It's got 1/4 weakness, which we've kind of harped about on these two videos, and it's Garchomp, but who cares? You've got double Steel Incineroar.
All right. Let me go ahead and explain some of the things here. So, post draft, we had Amoonguss on here. But also post draft, this team was drastically different. We didn't have an Amorous. We didn't have Aerodactyl. We had, what was it that we had over? It was Crobat. It was Crobat and Aromatisse. But pretty much the big thing that when we were trying to fix up the team that Kathy really was talking about was finding a good Trick Room Pokemon and then just kind of settling more so for a Tailwind setter. And honestly, I think settling for Aerodactyl, 130 Tailwind for 8 points is not bad. It's not going to be the most consistent thing in the world because of what you're going to see in some of the later teams. I think it makes some of the matchups a little bit fishy just because it's, not priority, but it's 8 points. Finding priority on 8 points is not really heard of. But Sinistcha is kind of what we landed on for the Trick Room Pokemon. just because of hospitality, is so broken. Like, you can just run Tailghoul, Manaphy next to Incineroar on lead, fake out, you can just parting shot then after, and then switch in Sinistra, and then Manaphy is just so hard to kill. Obviously, by 100 in its defenses. It's great. Mega Lucario was something that I wholeheartedly will admit. Big E was mentioning it when he was talking about his first 2 picks with me. He brought up Mega Lucario, and I was like, okay, yeah, Mega Lucario seems good. And then I ended up putting it on my draft plan after we pivoted, because I think Mega Lucario kind of just ended up being kind of the Pokemon that kind of helped fix a lot of the issues that I was kind of feeling with this team. I think out of every Pokemon that got changed off of the team, I'm pretty sure Incineroar and Mega Lucario were the only 2 constants. Something like that, right, Kathy? It was like Mega Lucario, Incineroar.
I think Manaphy was up there.
Yeah, Manaphy was one of the more consistent keeps, but I know we did discuss Palafin a little bit. I did consider keeping Milotic for a little bit, which I do think I think Milotic would have been fine on this team. But Manaphy is definitely better. Does make that fast mode actually exist just by running those top 4 in speed. Obviously, that's not what I'm going to be running because, like, Incineroar is there. Incineroar helps fast mode, it helps slow mode, it helps every single mode in the game ever. Because it's Incineroar, it is the most broken Pokemon ever. Obviously not literally, but VGC players know what I mean. It's broken. This is like the guy in every single format ever.
Yeah.
And then when people say he's not the guy, then he returns and says, "I am the guy." He's like the guy at the end of Spy Kids 3.
Yep.
Where he just
You're
walks in the
The
door.
one that dies immediately?
Yeah.
No. That's that's what's a Pokemon that always falls off? That was Reg H Palafin. Palafin was like, "I'm the guy," and then literally within a week was off of teams.
Yeah, and then what's this? Junie walks up and it's Incineroar.
Yep.
And he is the guy.
He is the guy.
I need to watch that film again.
Yeah, genuinely, I really like every Pokemon on this team. Obviously, Turtwig isn't like super real, but I forgot, like I mentioned, I forgot Aerodactyl got Wide Guard. So I was just like, okay, let me just pick up a Wide Guard Pokemon that at least 1% of the time is going to be. Well, I guess also I didn't have Aerodactyl at the time when I picked up Turtwig. But kind of my thought process whenever I pick up on 1 point isn't, oh, is that a cute little guy? It kind of boils down to, if even once during the season, will it come up? And Turtwig could have come up. I'm glad it doesn't need to, because we have Aerodactyl. But, I mean, even still, Turtwig might come up. We don't know. It's very unlikely, but it might. Enamor's Therian, I'm a big fan of this Pokemon. It's crazy in Trick Room. I'm excited to get to run with it. I believe I used it before and did decent with it. I think it might have been on my Goldengo Drago team that I got to finals with.
Yes, I was going to say, because I've been going through all the footage, and yeah, that was your Season 12 finals team.
Yeah, so I really like the team. I mean, I can't really say anything more than what has already been said here.
I think the biggest question is, who is better between you and Rat?
I am biased. I think I like my team more. But that's just because I feel like my team is slightly more consistent. Like, it does its thing slightly more consistently than Rat's team does its thing. That's just my opinion, though. If you guys feel differently...
You're going to be biased. I think it is extremely close.
Oh, 100%. I think I'm fine with just, if we want to just keep them right next to each other, just say whatever one works.
Yeah.
I was thinking going into this A, simply because your team and Rat's team aren't far enough apart to differentiate tiers. But also, if I was going to put any of the teams in S, it would probably be this one.
I do prefer this one. just because you don't have Inteleon or Dino,
That's fair.
True.
That's fair.
and you have more
True.
real Pokemon.
Yeah, average Pokemon, I do think.
Counterpoint,
is
there
better
is a
on this team.
Turtwig.
There's a Turtwig, but if you make this an 8-mon draft, then like
Yeah, because I think when you look at
those-
my 8mon
actually-
quality, like you compare it to Rat's 8mons,
Yeah.
I guess Rat has a 10mon draft. But if you like take out Audino and compare my 8 to his 9, I prefer it. But I'm just gonna keep mine for the sake of the video and just to gas myself up. I'm gonna put it above, but I think really is just too close to call. And I think if you have one over the other, you're completely justified in that. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. All right.
Are you ready, kids?
Are you ready, kids?
No.
This is the reason we were drinking.
Yeah, take out the gin.
Well,
Take out the gin.
I've almost run out.
Yeah, it's
Same.
it's a
Guys, it's his first draft league.
No, oh, we're not talking about just him. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. But next up here we have Gen. Who wants to read off this team? Or am I?
I
gonna do
will.
that? You will? Okay, thank you. I'm gonna open my drink.
I specifically because I really love 3 of the Pokemon on this team.
I'm gonna go pee. 2 seconds.
That's so fucked up.
I will stay with you, Gambit.
All right, I'm right here.
No one's
I'm
gonna
right
go
here.
Piss Girl, though,
That's so fucked
Go
up.
piss
My
girl.
only other woman is abandoning me.
Go piss girl.
Thank you. Oh, I'm abandoning you for like 2 minutes. So.
So, Gen has drafted Raging Bolt, Grimmsnarl, Mega Aggron, Victini, Tornadus Therian, Zarude, Dreadnought, Slitherwing, and Shedinja.
Shitty ninja.
Welcome everybody to the part of the draft where we talk about teams that have Pokemon on them.
This
And,
is
they
a
just
team.
have Pokemon. I mean, it is 9 Pokemon in a draft that were taken on each of Gen's picks during the course
I don't know if
of
I
the
drafted
UBL
an
season
in-game
17
team. This
Dawn.
would go hard.
Dawn draft. That's not true actually. Do you know why? Because you wouldn't have like the best mon on this team, Mega Aggron. Well, second best mon on this team. Raging Bolt is better, but no, third best. Grimmsnarl's better.
About to say, come on now. Give
Yeah.
Grimmsnarl
Hey,
Oh.
don't disrespect Victini.
I will keep disrespecting Victini.
That's crazy.
That is
I beat-
crazy.
Hey, all I'm saying, I'm undefeated against Victini. I'm undefeated. Well, in this league. In this league,
Am
I'm
I?
undefeated against Victini.
I don't think I am.
Did you lose to nobody last season?
Oh, I lost to everyone last season.
Yeah.
Do you not remember Gambit's team last season?
the
No. You didn't lose to everyone. You're lying.
Oh, that's true. I beat Gig.
You beat Gig. You 2-0'd him, in fact.
I beat the fuck out of Gig
You 2-0'd the champion.
with a Dolliv.
With a dub.
With a Dolliv.
Yeah.
I can't believe y'all let
Though-
him win after
though-
that first
though-
week. After that
Obviously.
week, but he locked the fuck in.
Obviously, congrats to Gig for winning finals last season.
I will never let him live that down.
That's fair. I won't either. But looking at this team, I think it's... I was going to say it's fine. I'm not going to lie to myself. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night.
It does have a lot. It does have Pokemon on it.
It's got a lot of big, meaty Pokemon. A lot of
You know what?
big, meaty mons.
Me personally, I did feel like over the course of the 2 drafts, there was a severe lack of bug-type Pokemon. I'm glad he took it upon himself to take that bullet.
Yeah, to take 2 bug-type Pokemon.
2 bug-type
Two
Pokemon,
bugs.
both of which are
And-
mediocre and situational at
Yeah.
best.
And 3 separate 4x weaknesses.
Yeah.
And Dreadnought, Slitherwing, and Zarude. But all the bug types
It's
are on
okay.
this team.
Bug isn't
so-
real. We just went over that.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Wait, no. That's a lie. Not all the bug types are on this team.
Because you have Volcarona and you have Araquanid.
Well, Araquanid's more of a
Well,
water
Araquanid
type
isn't
than
a
a
real
bug
bug type, yeah.
type. It's a bug
That's
type
not
for
a
the
real bug
type
type.
chart.
Yeah.
So there are some things I like on this team. I like Raging Bolt, Grimmsnarl, Aggron, Zarude is like a really, really, really tough 4 to kill. If they get going. If they do not get going, it's kind of free. I'm just gonna like for the sake of the stream, I'm putting this in C tier. Because I do overall think this is my least favorite draft that we have seen out of both. Like, you have to run the same 4 every week, and you get like 2 Flexmons, and like one of your Flexmons is a Shedinja. So like you can occasionally just win games that you have no right winning, which is funny. Like if they can't hit your Shedinja, you can kind of just win the end game. But you don't have a lot of Pokemon that are going to bring you to that end game where Shedinja's going to win, just because there's also a lot of Pokemon that happen to share the weaknesses for Shedinja. You have Slitherwing with fire and, well, with every single bug weakness, which is like 400 trillion. You have got Zarude, which has a lot of the same shared weaknesses. You have Victini, which has some shared weaknesses. You have... That's it.
I want to clear up this misconception. Because everyone says Bug has a million weaknesses. Bug does not have a million weaknesses.
It
has
two.
3.
Is it 3?
It has 3.
Fire, flying,
It's flying, rock, fire.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it's grass everyone gets confused with, because grass has
No,
like 5 weaknesses.
I wasn't even, like, confused with it. I think I was, like, looking at Slitherwing being bug and fighting. I'm thinking it has a billion.
Then it has like 5 then it has a billion weaknesses.
Yeah, it's got 1, 2, 3. I guess it has 4. Shedinja has more weaknesses.
Yeah.
Maybe I should stop talking shit about bug and fighting and just start talking shit about bug ghost. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, to be fair,
5.
it has to have a lot of weaknesses.
It's got 5 weaknesses, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 13 immunities.
It's true. That's why it has to have so many.
It's got 13 immunities. It's crazy. Ignore that it also just happens to lose to someone clicking Sandstorm. Or clicking Hail. Because Hail is a status move in Nat decks that you can click.
Or Will-O-Wisp, Toxic.
Or just being a real stinker. And putting up Stealth Rocks.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, Stealth Rocks isn't, like, terrible against this team. Just because it doesn't have recovery.
Yeah.
Besides Zarude. Zarude is, like, the only form of recovery. And it's not, like, that hard to take out. Yeah, I put this in C tier. If we want to move on, we can just move on.
Can I at least say some things that can improve this team?
Yes. I'm having a hard time identifying it, but I'm also tired. So
okay.
That probably
yeah.
doesn't help.
So I think the big thing really is I think this is a team that benefits from Trick Room. It's just the Trick Room setter on the team right now is Victini. But I think if you can get like Mega Aggron into Trick Room, and even like in some situations Raging Bolt, because Raging Bolt isn't really like a Tailwind mon. It's just kind of a sit there and do its thing. Yeah, it's just gonna clap people. But I think giving this team like better speed control and a win condition that doesn't just lose to someone clicking Break or Psychic Fangs it would be nice. Like some extra immediate power, it would be nice, because otherwise the immediate power kind of has to come from Raging Bolt. And there's ways to do that as well. Like Slitherwing isn't great; it's definitely possible to swap, as well as Shedinja. Dreadnought just doesn't really fit the team at all. There's ways to improve this from a C. I think it's tough with probably what's available on the board to make it much higher than a B, just because I think like Sinistcha would be really good on this team. But like there's ways to make this better. There is plenty of ways to kind of like just bump this up a tier and make it competitive with other teams.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on.
Yes. Only thing
About
that I
what
will
team?
say about this team, it kind of peaks at B with 5 transactions, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
let's talk about a different team. Someone else read this one for me, please.
Whoa, guys, let's have a look at these 9 Pokemons. We got Roaring Moon, Celesteela, Torkoal, Primarina, Lizard Hisui, Chandler, Maushold, Sesslers, and Combusken. Oh wait, no, Baby Slurs. It says Baby Slurs. Might be.
It
Yeah,
only
baby
s-
sluts, come on.
it only says a little bit of the slur.
Yeah. It like
With what
looks-
mouth?
It.
It like spins around really fast and then it makes sound.
Yeah, or like.
It
rolls around
writes
the
it in the
keyboard
dirt.
until, like, yeah.
That or it just puts like a note on its spike.
Yeah. Yeah, it just digs around and it says, "I know what you are."
Hey, nice. It has 69 base average speed.
Nice.
Nice.
I've never seen an average speed or an average stat line entirely in the red before.
I mean, there's 2 NFEs and a Maushold, which has
I mean,
only one
your
real stat.
team is literally 1 special defense point away from being all red.
Yeah. And
I mean, hey, you didn't see it, I guess.
not all red.
Yeah, it's also the only one that's all red in this division.
Yeah.
Well, would you look at that?
Despite
should
the
we get
fact
the-
that it has
I mean, to be
such
fair,
massive fucking stat differences.
that's because it's like there's lows and then there's like ridiculous highs. Like for defense, there's 60 from
God, what the
Combusken,
fuck is
and then
wrong
there's
with
140 from
Celesteela?
Torkoal. You know, looking
There's
at Celesteela's
145 with Chandelure,
Yeah,
126 in Primarina,
yeah,
and then
looking at
24.
looking at Celesteela's stats, you would think like, oh, this thing should have more defense.
No?
Like no. I mean like based off of like when you're facing it. You look at it and
That's
you're like, it's
these
only
cannot be
90.
the stats.
It's like 93, 107, 101. It's like surely it's more. But anyways, it's Chiyu food, so who cares?
True. I'm not afraid. I ain't scared of no ghost.
to you in the sun.
I think you are scared of different teams, not this one.
I'm
but...
scared of Kartana. I'm not scared of Celesteela.
Wait. Oh, I was gonna say, is this your week 1 matchup? No, it is not. No, it is
No, my week 1 is
against the A-tier
Waru.
team.
Yeah, it's against the team that is mine but better.
Yep.
Nah, I win.
No.
I'd win.
Anyway,
Probably.
this team is a thing.
This team does exist.
Here's what I will say. It has the better mode for the sun than the one we were talking
True.
about with Pyrus. Except
Yes.
with Roaring Moon, it would like Charizard Y.
Yeah,
This
if
team,
they
this
traded
team would be
these
more
teams would be
Charizard
fire.
Y.
Yeah, but you know that can all be saved with a nice trick room mode.
Yeah.
Logic?
I mean, we have. Okay, to be fair, we have Chandelure. It has Trick
Chandelure
Room.
is
It's fine at setting.
arguably one of the better fast trick room setters.
Yeah. I'm glad you said fast. Man, when I looked at this team earlier on in like the draft planning and everything, I was like, oh yeah, this doesn't seem that bad. And then like, it's like one of those teams, like the more you look at it, like the worse it feels. That said, unlike Pyrus's team, we've got Pokemon we want to click after you with, baby.
True.
After you, Torkoal Eruption, baby. Win the game, baby. Let's go.
After you, Celesteela.
I mean, I guess you could, but like, why would you do
I
that?
know.
You could. I think this team has a lot of really good pieces that do genuinely work together. But I just think it's going to be very difficult for this team to cross the finish line. I think there are going to be board states where we look at it and we're like, wow, this team is ridiculous. Like if you have like Roaring Moon, Celesteela on the field, or you have, like you have any combination of like these four, Roaring Moon, Celesteela, Torkoal, well, again, Hisui, throw a Primarina in there instead of Torkoal. Like, it's going to look ridiculous. It's going to look like a team that, when you look at it on the sheet here, it doesn't look like. But I also think, like, even though you have all of these really powerful Pokemon, it's still going to struggle to cross that finish line. Yeah, I do really like... Honestly, I like the Mon choices of every Pokemon of these first 7. I think all of these Pokemon really do have a good spot. I just wish we had a different way to set our Trick Room. Because, honestly, if you get that, I think this team becomes really scary. Because, I'm looking at it, and that's like the big hole, right? Other than triple fire.
Triple fire and Primarina are in the sun.
No, it's fine. Combustion isn't real.
Yeah, Combustion isn't real. Ferroseed isn't real. So you have a 6-mon team.
Ferroseed's a little bit real.
No, it's not.
No.
It's a little real.
Yeah.
Does
It's
it
a
get body
7-mon
press?
It does.
Okay, so it's
It
like a
does.
7.5-mon team?
Yeah. No, it's like
7.25.
7
Yeah.
and a third or a quarter, yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I like that this is gonna possibly end up in C tier because I like it way more than the other C tier team. Do we think the other teams are B tiers? Because if they are, I would just say move Gambit to A, put this in B. Because I think there is a really large gap between Orange's team and Gen's team.
Yeah,
So
I would agree.
I am going to move Gambit to A for right now. We can do some readjusting later. But I'm going to move, put
I have
Orange
no
in at
complaint.
B. Truthfully, I think the really good teams in this league are really good. And that truthfully does go for both divisions. I think the really good teams in both divisions are really good. All right, so we have our next one. Coached by Turtle. Let me just get this in here.
The Turtle.
By Turtle. And Winda, you go ahead and read their team because you helped out with it.
Whoa,
I
what
did.
if we had the same exact fucking earlier?
Yeah.
But better.
So we've got a Caladon, Pelipper, Hatterene, Basculegion, Togedemaru, Brute Bonnet, Sableye, Quillfish, Sneasel, and Fletchling.
Don't like you calling it Brute Bonnet.
Why did you say that?
So you know what?
Bonnet.
You know what? We'll give it to this team. This team, I do sort of like it better than the other Tailwind mode. Not Tailwind mode. Sorry, the Dawn
Rain.
Dusk version of this team. It's got Basculegion, like Arcalodon, Pelipper, Basculegion, Brute Bonnet is a team that's just gonna win so many games. For no reason either. Like it's just gonna win because they're just good mons. That said, I think everything kind of falls apart around that. We have Hatterene, which is a great Pokemon. Great Pokemon.
Fuck it gonna do here?
Where's the Trick Room? Brute Bonnet? Brute Bonnet?
I hate you.
Yeah, Brute Bunny.
Brute Bonnet?
Bonnet.
Brute Bonnet?
Yeah,
Brute
Brute
Bonnet.
Bunny. Look at the pasta.
Hatren? HRT-reen? Brute Bonnet? That's it. Honestly. That's unfortunate. That said, Sneasel. not a bad Pokemon on this team. I do kind of like Sneasel. It gives you a beat up option into your Arcalodon, which means just random stamina body presses are going to deal a lot of damage, and you are just going to have to anticipate it. Like, there's just not a lot that you're going to be able to do to play around it. Sneasel is one of the most reliable Fake Out Pokemon as well, due to Inner Focus, and obviously being 115 speed does definitely help. Fletchling is... You know it's fake. It's definitely fake, but, we have Triple Water. We have Triple Water on this team. Quillfish is here for Intimidate, I'm guessing. Window, was this a U edition, Quillfish?
It was a suggestion that I threw around, but not in this order. But I did suggest Intimidate, and they said Quillfish, and I said, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I think Quillfish is fine here. Also, potentially Swift Swim. Just gives you more options.
Yeah. Because at one point on this team, there was because originally I was thinking maybe Overquill, but Sneasel was an auto-include on this team, and I didn't want to get rid of Sableye, because I think it helps into other weapon matchups.
Yeah, I really... the reason I like Sableye in this matchup is because it just helps Arcalodon be harder to kill. Because you can just go Light Screen, you can go Reflect. You can also Quash to make Arcalodon faster than everything, and just go pew, 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 eat my Power Herb Electro Shot, nerd. Pew, 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 and then it just kills things.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You know me, I'm not a fan of Pokemon that don't do damage, but I think Sableye just makes sense on this team.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, Sableye does also have Foul Play, so it is going to be able to do some sort of damage, depending on what the opponent has on their field. Because, Dark types against this team, I wouldn't say are, the biggest issue. Obviously, Dark is only super effective against Basculegion. So, Dark types aren't going to be, the most prevalent. Fighting types are going to be around, just because every support Pokemon you have on this team is weak to fighting, except for the Sableye and the Quillfish. Fletchling dies to a fighting type move anyways, it doesn't count. You just got a lot of Pokemon that are just going to be weak to fighting. I think Pelipper and Hatterene can kind of help mitigate some of those issues. Honestly, this is, I think, one of those teams where you look at it right away and you're like, oh, this is just terrible. But the more I look at it, the more I do actually like it. I think Arcalodon is in a really safe place on this team, and I think that is very, very important for an Arcalodon Pelipper team, is to make sure that your guy is protected, because truth be told, this team has two damage dealers. It's got Arcalodon, it's got Basculegion, sometimes it's got Hatterene, sometimes it's got Pelipper. And everything else is also
got Brute Bonnet.
Yeah. Other than that, everything is a sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say,
I think that's fine, because the other ones can kind of just do the chip damage needed for the big monster to kind of clean up.
Yeah. I think it's... My biggest critique of it is that it is going to be a very hard team to run. This is not going to be easy, because while it is Reg 8, the Reg H core, Basculegion, Pelipper, Arcalodon, you don't have the broken pieces that really, really made this beyond threatening. Your recovery options are a little lower than I would have liked. You do have it in Bonnet. You can just go with the Pollen Puffs, but with how slow Bonnet is compared to your damage dealers, there are going to just be times where you're going to want a Pollen Puff when your Pokemon's at full HP, just so you can keep them at full HP. But if you don't attack, then you just lost a turn. I think it's going to be a tricky one to try and manage to position properly. But I think I have this at B, and I think I have it as my favorite in B.
Yarp.
All right. Well, there's
I agree.
there's one left.
Here we are.
There's one left. There's one left. There's one left. It is Lord Nobody who has Fluttermane, Mega Charizard Y, Walking Wake, Regieleki, Sneasler, Thwacky, Spupa, Berserker, Kecleon, and Floette.
This certainly is a Lord Nobody team.
Grr.
I like some of the mons on this team, and I like some of the pieces. I think like the fast stuff on this team is just like it's really hard to not stop. Like these first four are easy-ish to stop. The issue is that they're gonna stop you, like you're running into a brick wall. These teams are like these not teams, but these four are nightmares for pretty much everything. That said, I don't like that Mega Charizard Ys are only Trick Room, Tailwind Pokemon. Our Trick Room Pokemon is Kecleon. And for some reason, we drafted 4 Fake Out Pokemon.
Holy shit.
Though I think Kecleon was by accident. I think this is just meant to be Trick Room.
I am going to guess so, because unless you're insane, you're not clicking Trick Room on your Fluttermane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know you're insane, bestie.
Crazy if somebody did that.
We know you're insane, bestie. We know you're insane. We saw
And
what
we
you
love you for it. We love you for it.
Yes, we saw what you ran
Look.
all of last season.
I needed my Paris song.
Trick Room Fluttermane, not even the weirdest thing that you ran.
As a big Regieleki enthusiast, I have very mixed feelings about it on this team. I feel like there are going to be times in which it kind of just has to sit there and click screens, which is fine. But you also have a faster Pokemon than Regieleki on your team.
Yep, me and Kathy brought this up when we were talking about his changes. What point does Regieleki serve that Fluttermane doesn't do better, minus exactly electric type damage? I guess screens. I guess screens. I guess,
But then why
but
are you drafting a 200 speed mon?
yeah, why? Are you, yeah,
Grimmsnarl. Oh,
Yeah.
he's Grimmsnarl's leveled up, is it?
no.
No.
Somebody already had his Grimmsnarl.
Klefki.
About to say Klefki's available.
Klefki's
True.
available. Morgrim's available, which you can trade out one
Meowstic
of
is
your.
available.
You can get. Hold on. Let's.
You get 5 Fake Out.
Yeah, you can.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you get rid of some of your mid Pokemon like Berserker, Kecleon, or Floette for like Morgrim, and then you can get rid of Regieleki, and you have a lot of points. I guess like the justification is now you're able to run Specs Fluttermane because you don't have to worry about Icy Wind. Even though you run Icy Wind on Specs Fluttermane anyways. Well, at least with this type of team. There's also something hilarious about a Sun team having 3 Pokemon weak to Sun. Having a Red and Fire.
I didn't even notice that.
There is something poetic about a Sun team having a Red and Fire.
That is really funny.
We also
It's
have
very
a
funny.
very major Red in Flying. Like, we have 3
Which is
Pokemon
probably
in
why
Flying.
Regieleki is there.
3 Pokemon. I guess. It's not doing much.
I guess, but then you don't need to draft Sneasler, Thwacky, Spupa.
Yeah, I admire his consistency, but surely,
At
surely.
least there's not a Colossal on here.
Well, yeah, if it was a Colossal on here anywhere, it would be in C tier. Because this team
Have to
is.
spit up my drink.
This
Is
team.
it not in C tier already?
Have you seen what we have in B tier?
Have you seen what
I've
we have
seen
in CT?
this.
Yeah, well, I guess that's fair.
Like,
Um,
we have
I will say this is a very bad
whole
team.
Pokemon.
Like, I will say I find this team to be quite bad. Will Nobody still make playoffs with it? Of course, it's Lord Nobody. He could make playoffs with a brick. Face a bunch of
He could
Pokemon,
make
he just has a
playoffs with
brick.
Gambit's team from last season.
I don't know if I would go that far.
Hey, my team was
Oh,
peak.
well, no, because the top end. Oh my god, wait. Your team from last season was not that far off from a Nobody draft.
No, it actually isn't.
That's... Well, no, actually, it is very far off because you didn't draft any of the Nobody Mons.
Yeah, there was no
Um,
Sneasler.
Well, yeah, I don't want to feel disgusting.
Yeah, I will say this team is teaming. It's team
What
be
are we-
teaming.
What are we setting this trick room for?
Berserker.
Berserker sweep. You don't understand. 110.
100 defense. That's prime Sneasler
Yeah, so-
coaching material.
Yeah, so why is Berserker here? Like, what
Yeah,
did
that's
he-
a really good question.
what did
we
he-
like?
Let me check what he had on the old version, because I know he literally submitted transactions at the point. Oh my god, was it because of he had base Mawile?
Oh yeah.
No shot. Is that the whole reason he drafted it?
Yeah, we didn't have to turn it. Like,
He also
why
had
is he
Oranguru. So he had he dropped Marshadow, Oranguru, Mawile, Mudkip for Fluttermane, Sneasler, Floette. I will say, you keep Marshadow on this team. You keep Oranguru on this team. You keep Mawile. What I'm saying is the other team was better. This team, by the way, has no Intimidate. Doesn't even have really good... It doesn't even really have good stat lowering, for that matter, besides speed. Like, Icy Wind is the only thing that it really provides. You've got Snarl. Ooh, no. Special attacks. My special attack is dropping. No. All of your Pokemon are weak to Fizz Death. Your mons have...
This division actually has Intimidate.
Yeah.
This division has 5 out of 8 with Intimidate.
Yeah. It's got 5 out of 8 Intimidate. I will say, though, about his team, his top 4 really does screw me.
No, I'm terrified of this team.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not terrified of it. I just have to crack
I
the
am.
puzzle. I think
I
nobody's
have to
team...
crack how I get past Fluttermane, Regieleki.
So nobody's team is a puzzle that you need to crack. If you can crack the puzzle, this is the weakest team in the league. But if you can't, you do just lose. That's kind of the concession that you have to make. One thing I also don't like about this team, it doesn't have wide guard. Ooh, no wide guard. Oh,
You
I
also
thought it-
know it's a Lord Nobody. You also know it's a Lord Nobody team because like 80% of Lord Nobody teams kind of hates.
Yep. Kathy, look
But
at
it's
DMs.
because it's because like the things we look for in a team, Lord Nobody just never drafts and then just does well anyway because they're a good player.
Yeah.
The day Lord Nobody drafts a good team is the day that we're all dead.
Yeah. Kathy, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Kinda does. He really does.
Yeah. I'm sure he's gonna put transactions in before we have our match because he always puts them in the week right before I have to play him, which is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I said he was
Um,
dropping Sneasler.
Yeah. So for context, what I said, he loses to Scarf Aerodactyl because he can't Icy Wind me with Flutter to make it so that Walking Wake puts me in range. Also, Walking Wake Fluttermane is a terrible lead. So no matter what, that lets me, if I hit my Rock Slide, so 90% of the time I pick up Charizard. Cool. If your common lead loses to Aerodactyl, get a different team.
That's
Stop
so
it.
fucked up of you to say.
Diversify your leads.
Get some help. Get some help.
I mean, you got Sneasler. That's cool. Just try normal gem Sneasler. Fake it out. Yeah, cool, dude. Whew. Okay. Yeah. Genuinely,
of B.
if I were to give him advice on how to fix this team, just please, for the love of God, put wide guard on your team so you don't lose to Rock Slide, or lose to Heat Wave, or lose to Dazzling Gleam, or lose to this or that. Like, you lose to so many strays, please. I don't care if it makes my matchup worse. Please. Please. Just please. Yeah, I guess we can put it at bottom of B just for the fact that it's better than the team in C. That's the only reason it's in B. All right, well, this one I think was like an hour faster. 30 minutes. Something's like 30 minutes faster. If you couldn't tell, we did not yap that much because we want to get out of here because this was not
And we didn't have a fifth person.
fun.
Yeah, we didn't have Rat
that too.
yapping as well.
Yeah, we didn't have Rat. Rat really enables me to yap. But in S tier, we have, and this is totally ordered, guys. Totally ordered. It's the definitive list. I can't judge. We have me. Thanks, guys. We have me, Rat. I'll do that normally now that I did the bit. In S tier, we have me and Rat. Those are interchangeable. Just remember that. In A tier, that was an unintentional rhyme scheme. That was kind of cool.
I see. You're Dr. Seuss.
In A tier, we have Warwi and Gambit, which are both very powerful teams. This one, I feel, honestly, this one is also a bit arguable. I personally have Warwi above, but I really wouldn't argue too much if you put Gambit's team in first. Well, in first of the A tiers. I would if you did it in S, but that aside. And then in B tier, we have Turtle, Orange, and Nobody, and the lone C tier we have Gen. And that's actually the lone C tier of this entire draft.
Yeah, because we had to do B pluses and B minuses for,
so
the Dusk.
So overall, that makes it so that in S tier, we have me, Rat, and Kathy. A tier is Warwi, Gambit, and Kathy.
No.
What? Am I
No, not Kathy. Winda.
And then,
Because
My
you were in
other
S.
yeah.
I don't have the list pulled up, so I'm trying to do it off of memory.
Yeah.
B plus was Pinky and Lyric?
No, just Pinky.
Okay, B plus was Pinky. B was Lyric. We'll say Lyric and Turtle. B minus was Big E, Pyrus, Ace, Orange, Nobody. Am I missing one? No, I don't think I'm missing one. Oh, and Swag. And then in C tier we have Gen. If that was incomprehensible, yeah, if that was incomprehensible to figure out which ones were which, don't worry, it was for me too. Because I didn't have
It's fine. Just pull up two. Just pull up both tabs. Watch them at the same time.
Watch them at the same time. You'll be done with this one 30 minutes earlier, and you'll be like, wow. I had to sit through Dusk for another 30 minutes? That's what you'll say. Well, thank you guys for watching. This was a lot of fun to record, kind of. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the Dawn PRs this time, and thank you for watching the Dusk PRs if you did so. If you did not, go watch them. Honestly, I would say most of the discussion about the teams is more entertaining. Honestly.
Yeah, because we have Rat.
We do have Rat.
Well,
Rat really makes
rodent.
these, that little rodent I hate makes things very interesting. But thank you guys for watching the PRs. And
Bye-bye.
we will see you in whatever the next video on this channel will be.
Probably more PRs.